Every night, just before you drift into sleep, you stand at the doorway between the conscious and subconscious mind. It is in this sacred space that your thoughts become instructions and your feelings become commands. Most people do not understand the profound power hidden in this moment. But I tell you, it is one of the most fertile times for planting the seeds of your future. The last 5 minutes before you fall asleep are the most sacred and powerful moments of your entire day. In those quiet, drowsy minutes, when your conscious mind is slowly fading and your subconscious mind begins to take over, what you impress upon your inner self becomes the seed of tomorrow's experience. Most people squander this golden moment by rehashing their worries, their fears, or the petty frustrations of the day. But those who understand the divine laws of the mind know better. They guard these minutes like a treasure, because in this state you are closest to the creative power of God within you. Why is this moment so powerful? Because your brain waves are shifting. You're moving from beta, the active logical state, into alpha and theta, which are deeply receptive and hypnotic. In these frequencies, the gates to your subconscious open wide, and whatever you feel most deeply sinks in and begins to grow like a seed planted in rich soil. That is why I say, never go to sleep with a feeling of lack or limitation, for what you feel as true in those moments, your subconscious will accept without resistance. If you lie in bed and replay your failures, your anger, or your regrets, you are unconsciously giving instructions to your subconscious to repeat those very conditions. You are writing the same script and casting yourself in the same drama. But if, in that same moment, you gently affirm your desire as already fulfilled, I am whole, I am prosperous, I am guided by divine wisdom, your subconscious will take that as your command, and it will work through the night, drawing circumstances and ideas to bring it into form. This is not superstition. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. It is how your mind was designed to function by infinite intelligence. Your subconscious does not argue with you. It does not reason. It does not say, this is realistic, or that is too much to ask for. It only accepts what you give it, especially when the conscious mind steps aside. So speak to it with reverence. Feed it images of peace, joy, and abundance, especially before sleep. That is the sacred window. I have known men and women who changed their entire destiny by mastering just this one practice. One man, plagued by a lifetime of financial struggle, began to fall asleep each night with the feeling that he was already wealthy. He would visualize himself blessing others, writing checks to causes he loved, walking through life with ease. In less than a year, he received a business idea that changed everything, not by force, not by stress, but through subconscious guidance. You must remember this. You are always communicating with your subconscious, but before sleep, your voice is loudest. In that relaxed state, you are closer to your true self, the I am presence within you. And when you speak to that presence with calm assurance, when you sow thoughts of love, healing, and success, it must respond. So tonight, do not replay your worries. Do not mentally argue with others. Do not fall asleep with fear in your heart. Instead, choose the highest image of yourself. Say it softly, lovingly, and let it drop deep Divine order governs my life. All things are working for my good. I am blessed beyond measure. And then sleep in peace. When you understand the power of this moment, when you honor it, protect it, and use it consciously, your life will begin to change in ways that seem miraculous. But it is not a miracle, it is law. And the law is always faithful. Next, let us explore how the exact words you use before sleep become spiritual seeds planted directly into the subconscious garden. You may speak beautiful words, affirm all the right truths, and visualize your desires in vivid color, but unless those words and images are charged with emotion, they will remain surface-level thoughts. The subconscious mind is not moved by logic. It is not convinced by repetition alone. It responds only and always to feeling. Emotion is the key that unlocks the door to your deeper self. It is the golden gateway through which your thoughts enter the sacred chamber of creation. What you feel with intensity, your subconscious accepts as truth. Many people fall into the trap of mechanical affirmations. They say, I am healthy, I am prosperous. But beneath those words is fear, doubt, and a feeling of unworthiness. The subconscious does not receive the words. It receives the emotional vibration behind the words. And if that vibration contradicts the affirmation, then the affirmation bears no fruit. This is why I often say, do not merely affirm, feel your affirmation. The emotion you attach to your thought is what gives it life. If you say, I am abundant, and your heart swells with gratitude and expectancy, your subconscious receives that instruction and begins to reorganize your reality in alignment with that emotional state. But if you say the same words with anxiety, resentment, or disbelief, you are only affirming lack, even as you speak of wealth. Understand this principle, and you will understand why so many struggle despite doing all the right things. It is not the technique that matters. It is the emotional tone behind it. When you impress your subconscious with strong feeling, you bypass the critical gate of the conscious mind. You send a signal to the inner self that this idea is real, that it is happening now, that it is yours, and the subconscious, ever faithful, begins to bring it into expression. Whether the feeling is of lack or abundance, fear or faith, sorrow or joy. This is why the moment before sleep is sacred, as we discussed earlier, because in that drowsy state, your feelings become more powerful. And if you combine that relaxed awareness with an emotion of peace, love, and fulfillment, you can reprogram years of negativity in a matter of days. Emotion is the bridge. It connects your conscious desire with your subconscious power. Do you want to accelerate healing in your body? Then feel the joy of health. Feel it, not someday, but now. Do you wish to experience financial freedom? Then do not just picture money. Feel the freedom, the ease, the generosity that wealth brings. Do you desire love? Then feel lovable, worthy, radiant, for that is what the subconscious will reflect. Remember, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel to be true. The law is simple, but it is exact. And when you align your emotions with your intentions, when your feeling matches the thing you desire, then creation begins. Not by force, not by stress, but by spiritual law. So let your emotions be your ally. Choose them with wisdom. Speak to your subconscious, not with empty words, but with passion, conviction, and deep inner knowing. As you do, your inner world will shift and your outer world will follow. Now that you understand how emotion serves as the gateway, let us move forward to the exact words you can use before sleep to program your subconscious for success, healing, and abundance. Words that work because they are soaked in feeling. Your conscious mind sleeps, but your subconscious never does. While your body rests, your inner mind, that silent builder, continues its work. It processes impressions, organizes ideas, and carries out the orders you gave it while awake. But here's the most powerful truth. The last thoughts you feed it before sleep act like seeds, and your subconscious, like fertile soil, works through the night to bring those seeds to life. You see, there's a divine intelligence within you that doesn't need the five senses to operate. It governs your breathing, your heartbeat, the healing of wounds, and the growth of every cell in your body. It is infinite in its ability, and it is always listening. The reason your subconscious is most active at night is because as the conscious mind withdraws, the gates of suggestion open. There is no interference, no logic, no doubt. In those moments before deep sleep, your subconscious is wide open, ready to receive whatever you impress upon it, whether that be fear or faith, anxiety or abundance. That is why I urge you, never go to bed with worry in your heart. Never end your day by reviewing all that went wrong. For what you take into sleep, you give to your subconscious to magnify. If you sleep with resentment, you multiply conflict. If you sleep with peace and expectation, you multiply blessing. You may have experienced this already. You've gone to bed with a problem, and upon waking, seemingly out of nowhere, the answer appeared. Or a solution arrived through a dream. Or your mood shifted dramatically. That is not chance. That is the power of your subconscious working for you quietly, faithfully, as you sleep. This inner mind of yours is not bound by time or space. It can solve problems, inspire new ideas, and attract people, situations, and resources to you, all while your physical eyes are closed. This is why spiritual masters have always emphasized night prayers, meditations, and affirmations before sleep. They knew the power of those final thoughts. So I ask you, what are you feeding your subconscious each night? Instead of replaying your fears, begin to nourish it with the feeling of the thing you want to experience. Not just the image, but the emotion. Feel the freedom of success. Feel the joy of answered prayer. Feel the calm of perfect peace. And as you drift into sleep, know this: your subconscious has taken that impression and is already at work, bringing it into expression. You do not need to know how. That is not your concern. The subconscious works through its own mysterious ways, ways that often bypass reason, logic, or the expectations of others. Your job is to feel the reality of your desire and trust that the inner power is already forming it. Speak to your subconscious as you would speak to a beloved friend, gently, confidently, with love. Tell it what you want in the present tense. I am healed. I am successful. I am loved. I am abundant. Let your heart believe these words, even if the outer world hasn't yet caught up. Remember, the outer is just a reflection of the inner, and change begins within. As you sleep tonight, let go of the struggle. Surrender your desire to that deeper part of yourself. Say it once. Feel it deeply, and then rest. Know that your subconscious is now working tirelessly, silently, to bring it to pass. Now that you know your subconscious never rests, it's time to learn what words, what seed thoughts you should plant before sleep to manifest healing, peace, and prosperity with ease. Let us now explore those sacred affirmations that open the gateway to miracles. An affirmation without feeling is like a seed without water. It may be planted, but it will never grow. You see, words alone have no creative power unless they are saturated with emotion. You can repeat, I am wealthy, 10,000 times, but if fear and doubt dominate your emotional state, the subconscious, your silent partner, accepts the emotion, not the statement. This is the great secret I have taught for decades. The subconscious responds to feelings. It is not moved by logic, nor impressed by eloquence. It is stirred into action by the spirit behind the word, the emotion beneath the voice, the deep belief you carry as you speak. Now let us go deeper. An affirmation is simply a declaration, a claim made upon the universe, a seed of intention. But for that seed to transform your reality, it must be planted in the soil of feeling. Feeling is the vitality, it is the divine spark. It is what opens the gateway to your subconscious and says, this is real, this is mine. When you say, I am calm, but your heart is racing with anxiety, your subconscious receives the anxiety, not the words. It cannot be fooled. It always reflects the dominant impression, and the dominant impression is shaped by your feeling. That is why so many people give up on affirmations. They say them, but see no change. Not because the words are wrong, but because the words were spoken from a place of fear, desperation, or disbelief. Remember this. If your affirmation is not soaked in conviction, it is just noise. But the moment it becomes alive in you, the moment you feel it as true, your inner mind accepts it and begins to manifest it. Let me give you a practice. Take a moment before you speak any affirmation. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Feel yourself already in possession of the thing you desire. If you're affirming wealth, feel the ease, the freedom, the security. If you're affirming health, feel the energy, the wholeness, the vitality. Then, from that feeling, speak your words slowly and reverently. Say, I am abundant. Feel the abundance. Let it tingle in your hands. Let it lift your posture. Let it move through your heart like a warm light. That feeling, that is the creative power that activates the subconscious, and once activated, the subconscious moves mountains to bring your outer world into alignment with your inner truth. You must affirm, not like a beggar, but like a child of God. Speak your affirmations with authority, with serenity, and with expectation. Not as if you're hoping, but as if it's already done. That is the correct attitude. That is the formula. Affirmation plus feeling equals transformation. And do not worry if doubt appears. That is natural. Doubt is like a cloud, but your truth is the sun. Keep feeling the truth. Keep speaking it. Let it become your inner climate. Over time, your subconscious will accept this new idea, and when it does, it will express it with divine precision. There is no force in heaven or earth that can block a conviction felt deeply and impressed upon the subconscious. That is how the laws of life work. That is how prayers are answered. That is how lives are transformed, not by wishful thinking, but by feeling the end result and declaring it boldly. So tonight, do not merely whisper your desires. Feel them, live them, speak them as done. For when affirmation and feeling become one, transformation is inevitable. You are not hoping for a miracle. You are activating it from within. And now, beloved, understand this timeless truth. Your subconscious never sleeps. It is always listening, always receiving, always creating, even while your conscious mind rests. What you plant in those final moments before sleep becomes the blueprint your inner mind follows. If you go to bed rehearsing worries, your subconscious reproduces more worry. But if you drift into sleep with peace, gratitude, and conviction, speaking truth to yourself with feeling, then the divine within you begins to orchestrate miracles in silence. Do not underestimate the power of a single thought fused with faith. Do not dismiss the sacredness of those quiet moments when the world fades and only your inner voice remains. That is your temple. That is your creative sanctuary. That is when the infinite intelligence within you goes to work. So tonight and every night, speak life over yourself. Speak joy. Speak abundance. Speak healing. Speak, I am, not as a wish, but as a declaration. Because when you speak from your heart and feel it deeply, your subconscious will do the rest. Trust the process. Rest in the truth and watch your world transform. Quietly, gently, but powerfully, from the inside out.